Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Call with your host, Kerry Ramage, managing broker at RE/MAX Elite, and Heather Holiday, your social marketing nut, talking about hottest real estate topics with a little weekly activity and motivation for the week. Good morning and happy Monday.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Hopefully it's like pouring rain. And now that spring is in full fledged, I have all these canopy of trees. So hopefully my internet stays okay.
All right.
Because I guess I have the Google meshy things and the one that was in my office stopped working.
Oh, no.
Which has been okay. But now that we have the trees up, it's kind of always hit or miss.
Right.
So
right.
I have to go get another one, but we don't remember how we set it all up.
Oh, goodness.
And that's not my thing. That's Leo's for sure.
Oh.
So I'm just probably going to take one from the house and just put it in here and cross my fingers.
Right. Think positive. We always say that. Think positive and it'll all work out.
Oh, yep. Hoping. Lots of that going on. That's for sure.
So if you're tuning in, let us know what you're tuning in, where you're tuning in from, and how you're doing on this Monday morning. And if you want to let us know how the weather is, we'd love to hear that too. Here in Florida, it is hot.
We missed you too.
We missed you too, Melissa. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
It was fun because I was in Georgia this past weekend. So my brother lives down there. So coming back, and I always go through upstate Georgia. So it's always fun to see all my, Melissa's office signs everywhere, which is so awesome.
Right.
I'm like, I recognize that name. I recognize that name. I recognize that name. So that's always fun.
Yeah. And their offices totally kill it in Georgia for sure.
Yeah. And I got to go through all of upstate, and my aunt lives pretty close to there. So I was like, I have to swing by and say hi on my way home, since it's like 15 minutes out and she's in Blairsville. So that's always fun. And it reminded me of when I went up there for their grand opening, and we had the RE/MAX balloon at night, and it was so awesome in the mountains. Still probably my favorite time having the balloon.
Right.
Pretty cool.
For sure. Somebody I know was just at a balloon event. Now I can't remember where they went recently. I can't remember if it was I shouldn't have even brought it up. It's either in like the Tampa side or somewhere in Tennessee, or maybe it was in Georgia. But I remember seeing on Facebook somebody was at a balloon
somewhere
event.
On the East Coast?
Yeah, somewhere over here somewhere. And I remember thinking, I wonder if the RE/MAX balloon is there.
Usually. And if it's Tennessee, it might even be, our neighbors over here, and her husband flies the RE/MAX balloon here in Tennessee.
Oh, fun.
So it's pretty cool. And the wife's an agent. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the billboards are crazy in Georgia. It's so like, I don't see that here in Tennessee or anything, but I know Georgia, it's like a total thing. It's like everywhere. Billboards. Everywhere. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Wow.
We have like the digital ones on, the mains. It's just, they're everywhere in Georgia. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. I don't know that I've ever paid attention. So now when I go back to Georgia,
at least like the North Georgia, in their billboards, it's like every agent, I think, has a billboard.
Wow.
Everywhere.
Wow.
Side roads. Doesn't matter. It's not just like the main.
Well, that's definitely a good way to grow your business. And that's what we're talking about today. 5 ways to grow your business. Hey, billboards, and if the price is right, and it's just one of those things that reminds people of who you are and what you do. And, they may not look at the billboard and call you off of it right away, but when they see it and they see your face or they see your company, they'll remember you, and then they'll think of you when
It's just the top of mind, which to me is basically like what AdWorks does. I don't ever expect leads from AdWorks. The point is just to have top of mind. Like they just
Exactly.
see you everywhere because AdWorks, will kind of run ads for a particular zip code. So it's just that, I try to always do it where the offices are. So that way it's like they see it online, they pass the office. It's just that they're always seeing the name top of mind. I mean, and that's
Exactly.
big. It's not like we're really asking for much. I just want to be top of mind when someone's thinking about buying or selling.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're talking today about 5 ways to grow your business. And, business planning, it just seems to always get pushed to the side. It always seems to be the last thing that people make time for because they're too busy. I'm too busy to plan my business. I'm too busy to plan my business. But really, it's all about making working smarter, not harder. And if you take the time to plan your business and review over the year, then you will have that roadmap for your success.
I mean, that's crucial because we always do the business planning. But for me, it's like, what do I want? How much do I need to make? And then you build the roadmap to get there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing business planning forever and ever and ever. I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't even sell real estate, but for personal, professional, what do I want and how am I going to get there? And
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's building that roadmap, but knowing like what tools, what is working, what isn't working, what can I put more into. I think that's so crucial. And that's also part of, business planning, which yes, it may take time, but having that roadmap to success and constantly having something to refer back to keep you on track because it's so easy to kind of pivot and go this direction or that direction. But when you have
Exactly.
that roadmap, yes, you may have to take some detours along the way because, the market's always changing and technology is always changing. But I just think it's so important to kind of stay on that roadmap and figure out maybe different ways to get to that success that you're looking for, whether it be balance, whether it be vacations or anything like that. There's so much to the business.
Yeah. I mean, set your goals so that you can take those vacations, for sure. So, and I see Sherry Bross is here and she says she's watching from her Florida home, and her Florida home is right behind our office. So, so thanks for watching, Sherry. And I hope you've been doing some traveling because I know you have the travel trailer and you guys like to go out and do stuff. So kind of the first step is to perform a business review. So, hopefully if you did your business plan for 2022, you looked at 2021 and you looked at the business you did and where it came from and where you had the most success. And then you are trying to build on that success as well as adding in 1 or 2 things that maybe you haven't tried in the past to see if you can create business from that. But even our top producers out there are doing business plans every year and looking at how and where they can grow their business if that's what your goal is. Or maybe your goal is just to keep it consistent. Maybe you're happy with the level that you're at, but you still need to know where it's coming from so that you can continue to build on that success.
Absolutely. And I know we'll be doing our mid-year business plan review soon. Which seems so crazy.
I know. I can't even believe it. I don't know where the year has gone. I mean, honestly, wow. Gavin is finishing up his junior year in high school, and I'm like, whoo, okay, senior year, here we come. So, yeah. So, in addition to performing the review, you want to outline your goals, determine what your goals are, which helps you to visualize. And when you visualize and you can see it, you can do it. It makes it so much easier to do it than when you're not visualizing, when you're not.
And that's why the vision board, as silly as it may sound, it's that constant reminder of the goals that you've set for yourself and put it in a place that you see it every single day.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's on your fridge. Make sure your significant others, make sure everybody knows about those too and have them be a part of that.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, that's huge. We talked about that before, about how, asking the permission of your family to work as hard as you need to work to get the things done so that they're aware of what your goals are and what you need to do and that so that they can support you for sure.
Because it should include them and part of that aspect. So,
yeah. Yeah.
And it's huge to have that support system.
For sure. I mean, for sure.
So knowing your strengths,
Oh,
and
yep.
that's pretty big, is what are you good at? What do you hate? And maybe delegate the stuff that you're not so good at, or making sure that you have your strengths and what you're really good at, what differentiates yourself from the others inside of that listing presentation, and making sure that that's coming, out when you are trying to get those listings. Because right now we all want those, right? But what do you do that's different? Are you doing the Matterports? Are you doing the videos? Are you doing professional photos? I mean, we see so many with the market, with things selling, they're just in there with their cell phone, and you see their reflection in the bathroom mirror. And, what sets you aside, it drives me
Right.
nuts,
Right.
from the others.
Right.
What sets you apart, and make sure that you're honing in on those strengths.
Well, and it's funny because years ago we all used digital cameras and took our own pictures. Then people switched to doing it with their phone, and now most agents are using a photographer, and that's delegating. That's delegating to someone else who knows what they're doing, and can do it better than you, honestly, because the amount of time you would spend on the photos and adjusting them and kind of what is that called when you fix it, you make it better. You're not cropping them, but you are cropping them, but you're also just adjusting the photos. I can't think of the word. Yeah, enhancing the photos. We would spend a lot of time doing that. So if photography is not your forte, that's what photographers are for. And the cost honestly outweighs the amount of time it would take you to perform the activity. There's so many activities that we do that we could probably delegate. For me, we have a program where we put all our files. It's called App Files. I do not like doing it, so I delegate it to someone else, and it's worth it to me because then I can use that time to do the things that I'm good at and that I like. Because usually you are good at the things you like, or you like the things you are good at. So do more of that, right?
Right. I mean, that's why I do like the websites and stuff. And it's like, I'm happy to train someone on how to do it if that's what they want to learn. Because
Right.
obviously, if you can manage your own website and blog and do all this other stuff, that's awesome. But, some people, like, I have zero desire to learn how this all works. I don't want to manage it. Like, I just need it done.
Right.
So there I am, delegate
Right.
stuff that, so that you can focus on income producing activities. And I know we're always saying that. And then Jamie mentions, I mean, and it's absolutely true. And that's why we do the review. To me, this is my best part of the review, is it gives me those small steps to do every month. But I think quarterly, to go against whatever your business planning is, to just stay on track.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll be doing that in a couple weeks. It may even be next week. I don't even know what.
I can't even believe it.
I know it's in June, midway tracking.
Right. So, and here's another: get creative, be creative. So it's not just the numbers. Also focus on your social and your digital presence. Now more than ever, you're seeing more and more people, YouTube channels, digital presence, and how
Reels,
is that?
TikToks, all of that. It blows my mind since I started getting into that space, and I just did it from like my adventures, more fun, just to try to teach myself. It is blowing my mind, the reach that those have.
Right. Well, and so, it's my struggle with that is, so I started looking at TikTok yesterday, and I'm not I don't really watch TikTok, but I was like, I don't even get it. Like, we're just watching people do stuff.
Well, and that's the thing is, I that's one reason. One, I get on TikTok, I lose 3 hours of my life. Like when Pinterest first came out. Two is, I'm never going to be that person that's singing, dancing, and making a fool of myself. Like, that's not who I am. I think it looks silly. I watch I mean, for the most part, I don't really have my sound on, so everyone really looks silly, and I'm not going to be, I don't know. That's just not my thing. But so what I'm playing with is different, maybe even Canva templates where I can have a listing and create a slideshow, add movement. So like for the office, I go and find out what events are going on. And I add make just in Canva, making basically a template. It becomes a movement. I can add videos and stuff like that. So it becomes informational pieces, but still get better reach than just a regular post itself. And of course, the platforms love video the most, and those get a ton of reach. So that's where I'm at now, just trying to get into that space. But I am blown away and I still haven't figured out why some get a ridiculous amount of views and the stuff
and some don't.
Oh, this is great. And I'm like, but it got only like 1,000 versus 10,000.
Right. I know I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to know, honestly. It really is. And so that for me, you mentioned the rabbit hole, like how much time do you spend on this when you could be doing other things, right? And so you try and carve the time out because like you always say, especially with your Facebook or your Instagram, personal versus automated is always better. And I can even tell that, like, go through your Facebook posts or your Instagram posts and see which ones got the most likes and see if you can't figure out how or why. And for me, it's always the more personal, the less look what I did that get the likes.
And I really, if on a business page, I like to go into the insights and you can actually see all of your different posts to be able to see all of that, to see which ones are getting the most engagements, comments, and stuff like that. And that's, when Facebook sees, hey, this post didn't suck, it's going to actually show it to more people. The same with Reels. Once you get a certain amount, if you've done it on Instagram and you reach a certain point, it's going to pull it over to Facebook because it's getting those engagements. And it's like, oh, people are engaging quickly. And of course, all of these social channels want people to stay in that space, which is why they're time suckers, right? So the more something gets likes, engaged, and shares, the more they're going to show it because they want to keep people on.
And so Jamie, who apparently is a wealth of knowledge, Accenture forecasts social commerce growing from 492 billion, which is an absurd amount to begin with, to 1.2 trillion in 2025. So that's more than double in 2.5 years. That's insane. No wonder we have all these children today who don't want to have jobs. They want to be TikTok stars or,
but promote. It's working. I mean, it's not, obviously just like sports, everything. There's, that slim chance, but I see it happening.
Yeah.
I see the singers and where they're going and, downloading their music.
Even something as silly as I follow this girl, who does posts for this hair tool company, and whenever she has a new video, like I totally watch it. I try to learn how to use the new hair tool that she's selling and I buy the stupid thing. I
do the same thing. I was able to figure out that whole, cool curling iron straightener thing that I bought because you have it.
Right.
You were able to use it. And I'm like,
well, that's the company I'm talking about.
It never worked for me. So that was like when I did all my photos, because I was like, I sat there and I watched the video. I was like, oh, I wasn't doing it like that. So I sit there and play with it. And I'm like, oh, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
And the eyelash thing, oh yeah.
Right. All of it. I mean, it's just insane. So when you see something cool and you see something somebody promoting it, then you, especially with someone you like or you're interested in or you follow, then you're like, oh, well, let me see what this is, Oh my God, I can't tell you how many hair tools I've bought from this Lange company because of this woman, Courtney Swan. I mean, honestly, it's like, and I feel like I know her. Like, I feel like she's my friend.
That was like one of my soap stars was talking about what she uses for her eyelashes, and she has amazing eyelashes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I found a new mascara,
right?
Like immediately right on Amazon, buy it. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, but that's how we know it works, right?
And so Jamie's kind of talking about how you target it for a video walkthrough of a property. And it's funny because over the years, Facebook keeps making changes to how you can target.
So is Google. So is Google.
Yeah.
Like,
So
oh
because
my
it's
gosh.
all, it all comes down to fair housing and all that sort of stuff. So things that we used to be able to target, we're not able to target anymore. It has to be much broader than it used to be, but you can do it via area. But when you start talking about the people and you start saying, I only want this age range, or I only want, whatever it is, I can't, but when you're talking about people specifically, it's harder and harder to target that way, unfortunately.
Even on Google, because now they have that, and I always had all of our ads on like cities, and I'm not allowed to put that anymore. So
you can't do cities anymore.
It's not letting me on our Google ads. I keep getting emails, and I'm like,
so
why would I want to, what is going on? So I don't know.
So, I will say this. I was just at the National Association of Realtors convention. It's the convention that's in DC, so it has more to do with legislature and stuff like that. And I was in some MLS meetings for the multiple listing services and different things. And there are MLSs in the country now that they don't have it broken down by area, because the area could denote something that is against fair housing. So now they're only able to use
Google is
they're only allowed to use zip codes, because that is truly a zip code, as opposed to for example, I'll just say we have Melbourne, O'Galley, Lake Washington. They're all in the city of Melbourne, but they're different areas. We still use areas like that, but I wonder if we'll see in the future the less of the ability to be able to do that.
And that just blows my mind.
I know. So which brings us to the next thing, which is just keeping up with tech, because tech, it's funny, when I first started doing real estate, so back in 2000, I first got my license, and back then you would get on the computer in the morning, download all the new listings, and so you wouldn't be able to see new listings again until the next day, because it wasn't live. So you would log in, you would download it to your local computer, and then you could see the listings. And now it's evolved. Obviously, you can put a listing on at any date and any time. But I remember back then working with older agents and thinking, oh God, they've got to get with the times, right? And now, like, I'm that person. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is too much. I can't learn one more technology thing, It's
for me, it's really using the technology to help you work smarter and not harder. So, the CRMs and stuff like that can really help you with newsletters and staying on, like the first app, to be able to stay in touch with your sphere, and using all of this technology and data points to help you work smarter, not harder, right. Knowing who to reach out to. That's where, for me, like, technology is, it's just grown so much over the years. And to think how easy using technology things can be now that used to be super hard to do and super time consuming.
Well, we used to hand deliver offers back when I started in Connecticut. We hand delivered offers to the other office. You only kind of sold in your town. So I only sold in Norwalk. But could you imagine hand delivering offers? Honestly, that's crazy. Right?
Technology has definitely changed so much, but it's also important not to go down the rabbit hole and try every little thing. So it's almost like knowing what exactly you are looking for that's missing in your business that you could add technology to. A lot of it is CRM or website, something like that. So just, baby step it. Don't try to do everything.
Right.
Maybe keep it on, add it to like a to-do list to really look into it. There's so many different, Facebook groups where they have support, they have forums, you can ask, what do others use, to at least look into, different CRMs or something. Because there is no one size fits all when it comes to technology. It's
right.
So when someone's like, what's the best CRM? It's like, well, that depends. What do you need it to do?
Right. And how are you going to use it, and are you going to use it? And
right.
So and Karen is asking a question about HomeSnap. It's interesting. There's so many different places to get reviews now. What platform are you using? So my answer to Karen is I don't use HomeSnap for that. I use Rate My Agent for that. So I don't know. But it's like which forum are you using to get reviews? Are you trying to consolidate the reviews and put them uh in only one space? you know?
Yeah, and if your reviews are not showing up, I mean, that's just calling support and asking what's going on.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't used that. I think reviews are important. I mean, to me, I like having them put in to the spaces, but having them and making sure you copy and paste them into other platforms, or so that you have them. For me, Google is super important. Having a Google business page to be able to put them on. And it
And
just stinks because it'd be nice if
ask.
there was like one place that it just kind of goes everywhere. But
Oh,
the rate my agent, you can pay a little more and it'll go onto your Google business. So.
Correct. That's what I do. Just because there was too many different, and I had to make a decision on which one to use, and here's the other thing, you have to ask for them. It's funny, a lot of times when people are looking for a builder, right, and they're like, oh, we found this house with whatever ABC builder, and then they look up the reviews and the reviews aren't great. What I usually say is most people don't voluntarily go on your page and give you a good review. It's only when they want to write a bad one that they seek you out. So you need to make sure you're asking people to give you a review. And I do it all the
make
time.
sure to respond, good or bad. Always reply. That always puts a huge smile on my face when I see someone that actually goes in and thanks someone and puts in a little bit about that transaction, and just kind of like more of an emotional touch to it. And I know when I'm always copy and pasting like reviews onto websites and stuff, and I see that someone's doing that, I like my smile gets so big because I'm like so proud of them and I immediately love them. Like, thank you.
But it's a lot of work, so maybe you hire an assistant who's helping you get the reviews from point A to point B. But make sure you're doing that. And I mean, that's just part of technology. What's the new thing out there? I mean, in our MLS, we just got a new showing service, and people hate change, so people are not necessarily using the showing service. We're trying to work some bugs out with it, and hopefully it'll be working great soon. But that the first
that's always the way with any change. I mean, I know it's like, oh, I really don't want to change, but when I know it's going to be better in the long run, I mean, sometimes change is inevitable when you have to go to a better technology or the newer that will actually give us more tools in our tool belt. But change is never fun. I know that. Believe me.
Yeah, for sure.
We get that. So what is our weekly activity?
Well, so spend more time smiling at those around you. I think that's great. Honestly, just a smile goes a long way. It's funny. I was just at the NAR convention in like I said, in DC, and it's funny to me when there's only two people walking down a hallway and the other person doesn't even look at you, right? And all I can think is I'm going to presume you're in the same business I am, because there's however many thousands and thousands of realtors here right now. And the fact that you're not like looking at me and smiling is just strange to me. I don't know. You get on the elevator and you chit chat. That's what you should be doing. So take the time to smile at the person who's ringing you up at the grocery store. I haven't been in a grocery store in almost 3 years now, but or the person at the drive-through, or the person at the dry cleaners, or wherever you are, or even just the person working down the hall in your office, take the time.
I find it very contagious, a smile. And I know even when I was like at my lowest, I called it smile therapy. And I think I got that from like Ally McBeal. But it was like a game changer for me. Is even being at lowest, I may have 1,000 things bad going on, but I just always had a smile, whether it be fake or not. It was always a smile, because it was crazy when you walk past somebody and you're smiling, they immediately smile back and it just brightens your day.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, especially if we're trying new technology. Can't wait. If you're not smiling, it is like one of the most contagious things ever. And to get that smile back, and that just almost brightens your day. And just kind of keep that little domino effect going in it. Wow, what a difference it makes.
Exactly.
And words of wisdom are smile in the mirror. Better make sure to smile at yourself and do that every morning. You'll start to see a big difference in your life. And there is a TikTok, and it is this little girl who sings all of these like power women. You know, there's the new Kelly Clarkson like song, and it's all about, you know, I'm broken and beautiful, right? And she is probably 5 or 6, and she's in the bathroom mirror just lip singing away this song, singing it to herself. And it is the most absolutely adorable thing. And I'm like, you know what? We need to do that more for ourselves, like she's doing. And so the mom, it seems to be a trend. So she's got all these powerful songs and records the little girl just singing it to herself, like, I'm strong, I'm beautiful. And it's the most adorable thing. And I think we need to do more of that for ourselves, and
For
just
sure.
that, those affirmations and, you know, stuff like that.
For sure.
I think those are great. And I know we have some other good shows coming on. Make sure we've got blogs and more information on our MondayMorningWakeUpCall.com. We'll be doing business planning, reviewing, getting into the nitty gritty here soon, because we're coming up to the end of the month, halfway point, all that fun stuff. But until next week, wake up, kick ass, and repeat. Bye, everyone.